Three cheers for casual sex.
My guys like their guys. They think it's cool the Bulldogs know their names.
Sly Silvestri, who are you?
I tell you, but put a hockey stick in my hand and I become a completely different person.
Welcome back to There's Something About Shoresy. I am Magnum Mills. I'm on the team with the Soupdeucer, and we're talking about Shoresy, the spin-off of Letterkenny. On this episode, we're going to be talking about the final 3 episodes of Season 5 of Shoresy. So that's Season 5, episodes 4 through 6. Soup, how are you doing, man? Like, I know it kind of sucks that it's a little bit of a truncated thing with Shoresy. You only get the 6 episodes. I mean, you had 2 dropping on Christmas. Feels like it just came and went. You know, it's going to be dropping on the Hulu in full and everything. But, you know, are you happy to talk about it, but sad to see another season at Sudbury go by?
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, it was a big build up leading up. I've been looking forward to the new Shoresy. As always, man. So I was totally stoked about it. It gets here. I took my time with it. I mean, I think I did like a 2 at a time until the last one, and then watched that like as the final or whatever the fuck. And it was great, man. Yes, I hate to see it go. It's easy come, easy go, dude. Comes and goes quick. It's a very quick season over there in the no show, but. Very good season, man. It did not disappoint whatsoever. I didn't think it would, and they just keep delivering, dude. Different take on it. It gave you a little bit of uncertainty. Where you're going to go with it towards the beginning. You don't know, and then a lot of hurdles and whatnot, and kind of figure out where they're going with it. And it worked out at the end like you would expect a Shoresy season to work out, man. It was great. And one thing I love is like the constant, camaraderie and, since the beginning of season 1, like the whole bringing the team together, the winning culture. I mean, the show, it really, has a lot of things on a lot of different levels that are deeper than just the comedy and the hockey and everything. But, yeah, I mean, it gives me, a sense of hope for humanity, really, I mean, it's just a good one, man.
Well, right until the very end there, I was going to say, like, boy, all that applies to our show just as well, but I don't know if we're going to quite give people hope that
Hope for
humanity, we're going to
humanity.
dig quite that deep. But we might start out, figure a little bit, get a couple hurdles, whatever, but we'll get there in the end. That's the goal here. That's what we're trying to do on There's Something About Shoresy. Thanks for checking out the program. We are presented by Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. You can find all of our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Dudes Watch Stuff and on the web at dudeswatchstuff.com. Nice and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please touch a thumb, and please be aware that this is going to be a full spoiler affair. We will be spoiling everything, all episodes of Shoresy, any news, articles, interviews, podcasts, you name it. If it's Shoresy, fair game. Slight chance a couple of Letterkenny spoilers could come up. Probably don't think they will, but you've been warned just in case. Soup, we'll start with our overall thoughts, and we always like to, if you're going to make a news sandwich, always do the top bread with some good news, and Shoresy has been officially picked up for season 6. That's the good news, the great news even. The not as great news, premiering in 2027. Are you a little disappointed? I mean, I feel like when Shoresy first came out, it wasn't quite a 6-month turnaround, but it was like 6 to 9 months. Right now, it feels like we're officially in the full year turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, if it's 27, it's going to be a year, and maybe it'll be right there on New Year's Day. He pulled off the Christmas Day, season or episode 1 thing this year, so maybe New Year's Day at earliest, But since we got that 27 stamp on it, we're waiting a year, man. Hopefully it's earlier than later in the year.
Yeah, I'd love to get any kind of mid-season special, like even if it was like we get to buys, like you go with the youths for a hockey tournament in the summer or something. Like I don't know,
I,
like a
I would
random,
love a mini, like a little
yeah,
mini,
an
like,
animated, like a
yeah, thing.
22 animated joint with the gyms or something. I don't know, man.
Or
Just throw
yeah, that'd
something
be
at us,
another
kind of.
direction to do it, man. Or yeah, even just a mini fucking yeah, a little something to
Well,
get you through
something.
it.
Yeah, so it's not a full year, right? I mean, we grew up on network television where they were off from like May to September, and most shows would come back like.
Another reason why I love that idea, dude, is it gives like exposure to another aspect of the show, like the younger generation, the buys or the gyms or something, something that can focus around them. Just hey, man, give you a little fucking something, a little here's a little spank bang material to get you through. We spank bang, until
Yeah, little, yeah, like the webisode, something like that. Because with the runtime in the 6 episodes, they don't get a lot of time to really like go in depth into the supporting cast of characters in terms of like we don't really know outside of maybe who they're banging, like what's going on. Like
And
we know
even
they're
that's pretty
talking to
vague.
family on the
Yeah, man.
phone or whatever, but yeah, it's very vague. I mean, we
Not
don't
a
have
lot of
enough
character.
time.
Well, see, there is character development, but you're not going deep into these characters. You're getting a certain,
Right. There's not
but
backstory.
deep
There's
enough. Like
development, but there's not
that's
backstory.
what's weird about it. Like it's enough to be like powerful still, but you still don't really know shit. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
right. When they go home, they're basically a mystery, right? They're almost like
yeah.
superheroes. Like they, but this is, I think there is a little bit of that. I mean, it would be fun just to do a little short, like 5 minute joints, because Shoresy, all the main guys, the kind of the core four, all kind of live together right now. Although maybe Shoresy's moving in with Laura, we will see. But like just them like playing video games, or like I could watch 20 minutes of them playing Monopoly probably and just arguing about all their
Dude, I
stupid
bet.
rules,
I
and
bet that would be
like
great. Yeah.
that would be hysterical in my opinion. So it's one of those things. If you're sold on the setting, the characters, the actors, everything like that, you'll pretty much watch anything that they would do. And I guess I should note that the whole thing will premiere all 6 episodes at once of season 5 on Hulu on Saturday, February 21st. So go ahead, mark that one down. Overall, I enjoyed the 3 episodes here at the end. I will say, not necessarily a good or a bad thing, but it felt like 4 and 5 were basically halves of one episode, right? Partially because, it's a Shoresy season, right? We're leading up to the big game in the finale, and it really felt like 4 and 5 were basically just the complete lead up, preparation, all that stuff, setting us up for the game in the season finale, which was fine. But again, it kind of following the track of other seasons, right?
I think so, dude. And I think they did a really good job building up like the entire, just kind of building the suspense, the momentum throughout the entire like first 5 episodes till you get to that sixth one. It was a good like it was never too much to where they had to pump the brakes, but it just kept you going enough to where wow, you were there and you're like, all right, here we are. It was like that steady climb. Yeah, in the first, when you're on the roller coaster until there you go, and now you're in episode, now you're in the finale or the final episode, and it's the fucking game. I thought it was tough. I thought it was well played.
Yeah, I think they hit most aspects out of the park here. Like they did a great job of bringing the whole idea of the hockey culture and the North American hockey game and all of that back around. They did a great job of integrating all of the new characters, and kind of even when you do the synopsis, now they're called the team. You know what I mean? They're not just the Bulldogs anymore, kind of like this is who they are now a little
North
bit. But
Stars. They're the
I
North
have
Stars.
the no show, the North All Star. I'm cool with that though.
We have
Like
to get
I
a new
liked
head
a
on,
lot of
man.
these guys a ton. Like I don't really want to lose these guys now.
Yeah, no, absolutely not, man. I think this is a good direction for this for the show to go, man. I don't know where they're going to be playing, but if they can organize a way to have that team or make it a way to have that team and be able to play games in a season with that team, I think that where else do you go with it? Like you have to have something. So uh, I don't know. I think that's an
Yeah, give them
option.
credit. They built out these guys pretty quickly, right? Like we talk about it. There's not a
We
lot of
grow to
time
like
for
them all now too.
backstory.
Even the fucking freezers and the damn
Yeah, because
what
they
did I
used
say?
what
Just
we
call them
learned
the
in
Fred
season
twins.
3 and combined it with just enough here, to make it work. And then they gave them some interactions with our other character and give them credit. Like I think we thought this would work. Last season 4, they had the weird Sudbury thing, kind of tying it all together. Here, ironically enough, it was the fact that Colson said the strip club half opened back up, right? Like that was a lot of bonding happened at that strip club. It was a very important locale.
Dude, absolutely, man. Even like now, I'm fucking Palmer and Delaney, man. Fans of them this year. These are
Oh,
people he doesn't
Schnur,
like this
dude,
year.
Schnur. Oh, old
Schnurr,
man Schnur.
fucking Schnurr,
Great
dude.
dude.
He's fucking awesome too, man. Like they're all of them. The entire
Oh
team.
yeah, Delaney. Like yeah, and I mean,
That's why it goes back to that whole like hope for humanity. Hockey brings people together. They said that since the beginning of the show. You know, I mean, something about it, but that community, that camaraderie, everything that goes with it, team.
yeah, that's one of the things that drew me to this in the first place, and I think elevates it over your kind of more typical comedy. There's jokes and everything like that, but they really lean into the fact that it is a sports show, and there's certain rhythms in patterns to a sports show, and they're supposed to bring hope to you, right? Like you're not supposed to watch a sports movie and walk away from it feeling sad. Like it's supposed to uplift you and talk
Yeah, but
about
it's
the
more
team
than
coming
it's
together
more
and
than
everything.
just hockey, man. It is hockey, and that's a lot of it. But it's more than that.
No, but the hockey's the kind of the framing device
Right.
to suck you into it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
You're used to
Right.
these rhythms. Like you've seen Rudy or Rocky or whatever before. You
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
like
Okay.
how this is supposed to feel. And this isn't quite that, but even in this season, they do go with the Rocky idea, kind of like the moral victory over the actual victory. And we talked about it. This is a show that's very good of kind of like setting up the stakes and the emotional give the buy-in that you need. You need total buy-in, and then by the end, they've always kind of delivered, and they come back around with it. They've always managed to pay it off, and they stacked a lot up on this one, right? It's an all-star team. The whole fate of North American hockey's at stake. You bring in Wayne Gretzky, and overall, we're not going to get to our grades yet, but I think they landed this plane, right? And I was very impressed the way they did so. Could have worked probably as a series finale, but also leaves it, I guess, just kind of, next season could be whatever they want it to be, more or less. So I think that they did a good job, making these three stand up with the back end of the other seasons. Shoresy is a show that always is closed on a high note, man. This show knows how to do season finales. You with me there, man? You think the final three, kind of landed the plane in a comparable way to the previous seasons?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, they never fail, dude. They haven't yet, this team will never lose again. And they haven't, as far as I'm concerned with the all the seasons of Shoresy to date, I don't want to jinx that by saying that, but I have enough faith in Kiso and the rest of the crew there to be able to come off with a season that raises the bar even higher than this one did, I mean, it's not like I have my favorites. Some are better than some others as far as seasons go, but like they all deliver, dude, and they're all fucking there, dude. I mean, it's a great show just all around, I can't really say anything, negative about it, honestly, man.
I really don't have too much here. I mean, you could argue that maybe there's a kind of a couple of throwaway plots here, like we don't get much with the buys, the young boys. We get the whole thing in the first episode with Jack that kind of comes back around, which is great, but they don't really get a ton to do. And then maybe the most random throwaway plot I didn't really have on my bingo card, but it was kind of neat because they had to give something to kind of push the relationship between Shoresy and Laura going forward. I didn't have the potential threesome on my bingo card there. Did that work for you? It was fun. I think it worked because they didn't overdo it and because Laura kind of always had the hand. But Shoresy just trying to talk to Nat about it and everything was great. So even though it didn't maybe add a ton to the overall plot, I still enjoyed it.
It was cool as far as something to get you away from, the main hockey plot and everything, or away from the game for a minute, as far as like on a personal level with any of the characters, and it was cool with the relationship situations with even the gyms, and Hitch dictating the whole thing, and however it was kind of hilarious, even like some of those situations, like. But anyway, yes, one of those off the ice kind of scenarios that was very well done for sure.
And just solid job tying the church league back around. Like we kept hearing about it. I wish we would have gotten highlights from that game. Like they talked about how violent it would be. I think our guys lived up to it, but
Maybe we get some next season.
who knows, man? I think they'll bring it back around. So I think overall, it sounds like we're pretty high, on the final three here. No surprise, we're doing a show about it. So, if we didn't like it, you would probably know by now. Let's kind of go through now, episode by episode, just pick out the highlights we haven't hit so far. First up, we have Season 5, Episode 4, Practice How You Play, 28th overall episode of Shoresy, originally aired January 8th, 2026, directed by Dan Skeen and written by Jared Kiso. The short plot synopsis is Shoresy and Nat arrange a practice game against the Appledorns. I love the interviews in this episode. This is time for Jory Jordan to shine. I love how he's gotten to the point. Is it just he's just that cocky that he doesn't even wait for answers anymore? He just basically hits his jokes. It's almost like Dangerfield, right? Like he doesn't even give him a chance to get edgewise in.
He doesn't let anybody respond, really, man. Yeah, you can't even answer. It's almost like, it reminds me of the dude in Waiting, where it's like, oh, you don't talk a whole lot, do you? But he just keeps not letting him answer. Yeah. So that's kind of where Jory Jordan's at as far as that goes, man. But dude, some of the shit he says, like, I don't know if I can pinpoint because we see him in, I think all three of the episodes here. But yeah, he's got his moments, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, he rips on the Euros just as hard as he rips on Shoresy. One of the best parts for me is because after you watch the episode a couple times, you start just paying a little bit more attention, especially if you're gonna talk about it like this. And you can tell when he's just ripping on the Euro dudes, like at least two of them are just doing their best. The dude in the middle, especially, just trying not to crack up because they do it in one take. I think most of those interviews they do in one take. It's actually very, very impressive there.
That's super impressive, man. 'Cause, yeah, that's where he's talking to all three of them, and then one of them's what did he start it with? Like a dude from
Because
Finland,
all their companies, yeah, just
whatever.
like the dudes
Yeah.
walk into a bar joke, he makes fun of their names. Like, did a cat? How you spell that? Did a cat walk across the keyboard or something? Like, oh no, he asked that to Shoresy, I think. But dude, at the end of the interview with the EU guys, he has the best joke there.
I'm Jory Jordan with the Sudbury Kids Sport Report Europa edition, reminding you that Nordic is just a letter or two away from no dick.
I literally
Yeah, that
snorted
was
for
fucking
that
great, dude. That was one of Jory's best lines ever, right there. I remember. I think I actually put that on. I did. I put it on the
Yeah, I
paper.
literally snorted. Like I was glad I wasn't like taking a sip of beverage or something for the first time, or it would have been all over. And I think we got a couple of great office scenes with the girls. They're always great, right? Even if it's just Shoresy and Nat, or we get all three girls, it's just the girls, or we get Shoresy in there. Here we had the combo. You had them and Shoresy a couple of times, and then you had them with the lady who came in and basically kicked them out. We never do settle on like how Nat still has the office. They kind of hand waved it. They did bring it up. Soup, if you had to, let me ask you, would it make a difference if you had to attend a hockey game? Would you rather it be 6 a.m. or 10 p.m.?
Dude, I would have to go 10 p.m. on that one, man. You know,
Yeah, that's no question. If you had to play in a hockey game, would the answer be different?
no, absolutely not. It would definitely be 10 p.m. as well. There's no way there's no way you could expect somebody to wake up and be ready to fucking play a hockey game at 6 in the fucking morning. You know, you're better off at 10, dude. Sometimes there's hockey games going on at 10. Yeah, it might be West Coast. It might actually be like whatever the 3 or 4 hours back it is over there. But still, you know what? I'd rather play at 10. Whatever time.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would, and I'm just a night person too, so that's a general. But ice time is crazy. I remember in college, like the dudes who played on a club team, and the only ice time they could get was literally like 90 minutes away at like 6 in the morning on a Saturday. So they would have to, they would like a lot of times because they're hockey players, they party Friday night. They would get up at like 4 in the morning, go to breakfast, and then drive, and then like have hockey practice. And they would do it for games sometimes because they were a club team. They couldn't afford ice time like that. You know what I mean? Ice time is actually really expensive. When you break it down.
Well, there's only so many of those fucking things, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and ice is. Think about how expensive it is to maintain.
Yeah.
What's a cost per hour to run a Zamboni? I don't even know, but I bet you it's a bigger number than I.
What would it cost to rent fucking Rich Stadium for it? Well, whatever, New Highmark.
Well, then you got to put ice on it. Yeah, I mean.
And you don't even have to put ice on it. Yeah, so I mean, shit.
Yeah, it depends on the season a little bit, but they set up a bunch of fun runners within these couple of scenes. I don't know if it's really a runner, but the whole bit with the names is just ridiculous, right? Like they do like 2 different versions of this with all the Apple boards. Dude, this is just nuts,
dude,
right? Like
I don't know how they fucking did it. This is like in my notes on fucking how spectacular all 4 of them were with just ripping these names off. Like, how many times do they have to practice that?
See, the way they cut, I'm pretty sure these are mostly improv because they're always in tight, and then you cut right to somebody else. But still, it's no less impressive.
I thought I had a couple locked down right now, and I can't even like a Van Butenhauer. I can't even do one.
But Scott, because I actually know somebody with that last name. There were like 3 names in there that I remember knowing somebody, but I'm sure most of them were nonsense. Like I couldn't even. It was so much.
Dude,
it would have taken me forever. Like I don't have subtitles for this. Like you could print out, so I didn't want to go back and tell. Like if you went between the conversations, if they were actually using the same names or not. I don't really matter because it all sounded like
some of them aren't. I've looked back. Matter of fact, I rewound this scene, and in watching it. Instead of going, whatever, I rewound it in the moment, like in not the first time I watched it, but like, the second or third time or whatever the fuck. Instead of going through and seeing it again, I was like, man, I went back and replayed that scene specifically a couple times, and it's fucking, dude, it's super impressive, man. Like, and if this was done in like a take or 2, dude, it's crazy because you don't see any cuts or anything really, man. So like they're doing this shit, and to be able to like not fuck those names up like that, like I don't know, man. It was all 4 of them fucking stars, dude. Right on.
Oh, it was just so like again overwhelming to even try to keep track of because it was so much so fast. That kind of overwhelming level of comedy, but it absolutely worked. We also get the setup for Shoresy's tracksuits here. Remember, we talked about it a little bit because he had the other one that was more Carolina blue, and they just pointed out here like, all right, it's part of the deal, like no tracksuit. And then for the rest of the episode, it's like Shoresy makes it a point to wear the tracksuit as much as possible, which I'm always a huge fan of. And then, dude, the runner with fucking April Lavigne broke me a little
Oh
bit.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was funny the first time, but then when they have to tell Shoresy, like, and then he has to say, "Oh, what?" Like, "Oh, well, Avril Lavigne." No, it's a cover band. Like, I looked April Lavigne,
Man.
like it's not a real cover band that I could find, but that's hysterical because if you actually look at the marquee for the arena at times, it was up there.
No shit. Yeah. Dude, yeah, that was another one it was a bit of a runner, a short runner, but it was a runner there, and and yeah, when she broke at the Shoresy, dude, and then you expected him to react, and then I wasn't surprised when it was just like he just walks out. I was like, all right, well, it was one or the other. Either it's a big fucking blow up, or you know, walks out. So either way, it's equally effective. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was also tough for the in those scenes, the emotion that the girls had the first time, and the Shoresy were when hearing it, that they lost their ice time in the room so quickly.
Yeah.
It's like we just won the country. Like, we've been here for 50 years. It's brutal, but that's how it is, man. Like, unfortunately,
Cutthroat,
that's the
dude.
way the
Yeah.
world works, man.
Harsh, yeah.
And
Sympathy for the devil.
thankfully, we did get a Corey and Liam scene this season. This is here in episode 4, and they pretty much went off. I'm pretty sure this is like maybe twice as long as any we've gotten before, but usually there's a couple per season. I give Corey and Liam credit at Soup. They get a couple of rips in here early. What do you like better, the joint they have about Soups? I mean, do you think he's a biscuit or a chowder guy, or I had to laugh at the you're going to get us kicked out of NATO for not contributing anything on defense. That was both timely and a very funny kind of hockey gag here. Do you have any preference here in any of the licks that Corey and Liam got in?
Yeah, dude, I just love the fact that they finally got around to this, and that it was involved in the season. Everybody, fan favorite, the interactions between those guys, man. Um, yeah, as far as the soup goes, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to go off the grid and say gazpacho.
Oh,
Maybe
okay,
I'm a
okay.
gazpacho guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if Corey or Liam or their moms know about that. And there
Yeah, their
were a
mom's about to
couple of
learn because Shoresy will teach their moms about it, dude. I'll get you this gazpacho, dude. I'm sure you can come up with a
somewhere in there something
couple good
about like
things about
how
them.
his piss smells like gazpacho or something like that. Like I always wonder how much many of these are written and how much is improv. I'm sure it's a lot of written, but there's probably a little improv in there. Dude, my favorite rip had to be the one with the pop-up bottle.
Fuck you, Liam. I told your mom Corey's mom could open a pop-off with her teeth, so she learned how to open a twist-off with her twat.
Fuck you, Shoresy.
Yeah. That might have been the best one, dude. I mean,
Dude, the other one, fuck you, Corey. Your mom sticks so many toys up her ass. I call her anal Fisher Price.
yeah.
Like you have to understand, like Fisher Price. I'm not sure if they're still even a toy company, but they were a major toy company when we were
No, I
youths.
remember Fisher. Are they not
So
still?
that's what makes that joke. Like if you don't understand Fisher Price as a toy company, it might not work for you. But if you get that, that's hysterical, dude.
Anal Fisher Price. Yeah, dude, it is. Yeah, and I
Oh,
totally.
and we get the Chuck E. Cheese one. I don't even care. Fuck you, Corey. I get it. Your mom loves body shops, but not a Chuck E. Cheese. Like have some decorum.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
this
fucking
is a show
classic.
made for our age group. I think for the most part. So all
Oh,
these
100%,
references hit
dude. I think it's
for
for
me, anyways.
multiple age groups, but yeah, I mean, we can relate for sure, man. And dude, just always bringing zingers, man. Especially when you get like interactions like that, you expect, yeah, you're gonna get that scene. You're gonna get the same, like they're gonna be chirping each other, but keep it fresh, man. Is another thing, and so far so good, man.
Yeah, they keep the jokes fresh, but the rhythm's the same. They're always going to be "fuck
Well, you
you,
have to,
Shores." You know what I
you
mean?
want
Like,
that,
but
right?
they cut it the same way. But I don't mind that. It's like comfort
But to
food,
make it
right?
that we're not sick of it yet is awesome. And
Yeah, and they've used it judicially. We got one scene the whole season. So
Mhm.
I think that's the way to do it, right? If you're going to use a bunch of them, you got to be a little bit more selective. But if you have one, you can just go for it, and they do here. It doesn't connect
It's
anything
like
else. It
Dice with
doesn't
the
need
nursery
to.
rhymes, Andrew Dice Clay. Do you bust out the nursery rhymes every day, or you know,
Yeah, there's
space
a
them out?
reason. I've been to a dice show. He doesn't do the nursery rhymes to the very end because he knows that's what everyone's waiting for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're not finding out, what Jill came down the hill with early in
That's
the
why you
dice
don't
show. That's
open
not how
with
we're.
fucking Stairway to Heaven, dude.
Yeah, you did not. Yeah, no stairway. Even if you're gonna
No
go wink,
Stairway.
wink. No stairway, dude. Denied.
You
Denied.
don't open with Sweet Home Alabama, then. If that's your gig, man. Anyway,
And we got the return of the basketball dude here. This was kind of a fun scene where Shoresy like sees the dude. He's like, "All right, I'm gonna fight him." You know what I mean? To get the room back, but he thinks he's gonna lose. Do you think Shoresy would have lost to him, man? I know the dude's got some reach or whatever, but Shoresy's a pretty tough dude. Like he was really
I think it.
convinced that he was gonna lose, or was he psyching him out? I don't know. Is he that smart? Like.
Yeah, yeah, he is. Definitely. Also he's confident enough to be like, well, if this is what it's going to be, it's going to be. He also knows he's got backup if that happens because but so is maybe the other dude. So if nothing else, it'll turn into one of those. But yeah, I mean, I think he would have took it any way it came, but it worked out. Like, that's
I mean,
probably
it's just really fun for maybe the one of the better scenes I've ever seen in the bathroom at a. Were they in the strip club or were they the club proper on that time? I'm not even sure which side of the bar they were on.
Well,
But
where
the
is the
bit with the
bathroom?
potty
Is the
kiss.
bathroom right in the middle? Because then it's the neutral zone.
Yeah, neutral zone. Yeah. It might be the neutral zone. Dude, a potty kiss, like talking about like slamming your head into the wall when you're using the. We've actually seen that before. I've never heard that term. Like, I don't know. Do you think that's a real thing or they made it up for this?
Well, it happened. I mean, we've seen it in Shoresy.
Oh, we've seen it in tons of movies, dude. It's not new, but I've never heard that term.
It's been a thing in Shoresy before in earlier, or maybe Letterkenny, one of them, or both of them even. No, it's definitely been Shoresy too. Early. But yeah, they've talked about it before. So yeah, it's a thing in I don't know that I fucking. It's pretty hardcore, dude. I mean, that's a harsh thing to do to somebody, man.
Oh yeah, dude, break some of those again. Again, there's only so much you should. There's etiquette when a man has his dick in his hand. Put it that way.
It's a cheap shot. It's about as cheap as a shot you can go, dude. I mean, if you got your dick, you're literally catching somebody with their dick out.
Yeah, like that's
that's
by the definition.
It's about as cheap a shot as you can get.
Which would go against the kind of the ethos of the season, right? Because the whole idea is, what I mean, to kind of win the right way or whatever. So, but it actually goes a very interesting route here. Like I never really expected Shoresy to fight the dude, but just the idea, like first you kind of like cut the tension when he finds out the basketball team is the Sudbury Five. What do you think? Is that more like a group of people who killed somebody or a group of victims? I couldn't decide, but it fits both.
I know it's not as cool as the crazy 88s, so I'm just gonna leave it right there, dude.
Well, what is? I would go. It sounds like a group of victims. I guess I'm just thinking of the Central Park Five because of the five. But then I like how they bring it back around so Shoresy can really bond with the dude when he knows all the names, right? Because he's trying to build a culture. And Shoresy connects with him, and that way he finally learns that George is Jorge. It's not just a George with a J.
George with a J, dude. He spells with a J though.
But and then it sets up the great moment which closes out the episode. We're not getting to the end yet, but when he actually goes to the game, right? And they bring the Bulldogs to the game and they see the crowd. And that was really cool. And that's pretty much what we get from the basketball team, other than the other jokes about the room itself and the way they have it decorated. But I thought that was a nice way of bringing that dude back, after they fought the basketball team, kind of in the first half there. I didn't really think they would come back around. So I thought it was a nice way of doing it.
Yeah, dude, and I think that's definitely a good thing for the way the show is. Anyway, the general vibe of the show is like, you're gonna have your scuffles and whatnot. But again, they might not be playing hockey. They're not on your team. They're not even in the same fucking sport, but they're still fucking playing their sport, man. So they have that same kind of heart and drive as any sport or any athlete would have. So I think they found the mutual respect there, and that might be cool going forward. We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, you got to have that drive to do what you got to do, and that's why Delaney shows up to the scrimmage like on time, but with strippers.
With hookers.
Who hasn't paid? Who hasn't paid yet? I love how Shoresy just eventually offers him $80 to score a goal.
Definitely hookers.
And that's just a great way to like kind of tilt the problem. But I used to work jobs like this where they would literally expect you to be there 15 minutes before they start paying you. I always hated that shit.
I'm a dude that likes to show up early. I don't like somebody showing up
early. No, I like you should be there. You shouldn't be running to like make the clock.
Yeah.
But like making like the idea basically like we were expected to be there 15 minutes early and stay 15 minutes after we clocked out. Like that adds up, man.
It's 30 minutes a day. Yeah, I guess you could look at it like that.
You know what I mean? I don't mind being on time, but I never liked like that's a Tom Coughlin thing. The former New York Giants coach got into fining people when they weren't actually late for meetings. They just weren't early enough. Because at a certain point, it's like, all right, tell me what time to show up, right? It's like you could set your alarm for the time you want to get up, or you could set it early and snooze it, right? I guess those are the two kinds of people in the world. And,
trust me, man, I am a big time snoozer. I will take the last fucking 3
Yeah.
of sleep if
I do that too. I'm totally
I also
guilty of that.
I also don't like to be right on time because I don't I like to get there with enough wiggle room to at least be comfortable before, no matter what.
Yeah, I want a buffer, dude.
Yeah, a little bit, just so I don't need 15 minutes probably, but if I get there with enough, okay, I don't have to dive right in. Let me get my fucking
Yeah, see, for me, it's 15 minutes if you have to be there 5 days a week. Like that adds up. Then you know what I mean. If it's just for
Well, clock
occasional
the fuck
things,
in when you get there then and get paid for that.
yeah, see, there you go. If I can clock in when I get there,
fucking
then we're
clock in.
talking. But yeah, that's
I'd rather have somebody come in early and clock in than not than be
yeah.
late.
As long as I'm allowed to clock in, yeah, I will get there. That's the problem. Then I'll start getting there earlier and earlier probably. Then if I don't have anything else to do.
I mean, if you're gonna clock in and take a shit and smoke a cigarette and then don't clock in.
Yeah, right. You have to get to work if you're going to clock in. That's the deal. Like,
yeah, shit,
you actually get
smoke, then clock in, or whatever. But still, fucking whatever, man. Whatever works for
you.
great good,
Yeah, as long as you do your thing, you get it done. Kind of nice twist here. When the Appledores don't have their goalie and they get the big ass dude from the EU, that sets up the first time Shoresy gets to meet the opposing coach there. That was fun, right? Like I just like the idea. Like they kept basically like, come on, well, you got to let the dude play. You got to let the dude play, and that sets up the whole bit with Sylvester. He was like, you know what I mean? The same thing like that we've heard a couple of times throughout the season. Like, well, yeah, I know you tell me not to run the goalie, but you put a hockey stick in my hand. I'm a completely different guy. So it was a nice callback to that. And if you actually watch in the final episode, I don't know if we actually see it, but you see it during the highlight reel. I know when they do the Sports Center bit, like he actually does take a run on the big goalie finally there. But it's cool when it looks like he's going to do it. Right, they have that shot of him on the bench, and he's like aching to do it. And then our guy Gord Gallant comes in and kind of like pushes him out of the way at the end. That was fun, dude. That was a nice save.
Yeah, good save, man. Save it for the fucking actual game, I mean, smart play, playing smart.
I mean, just nice to have hockey action here, right? Like this was well done.
So nice to see some hockey action. We've been wanting to. We didn't get did we get any last season?
Just a very little bit when they had the one little scrimmage, like practice fun thing, pretty much.
And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping this show going forward in the next season is more. I don't care if it's the younger kids because there's going to be a continuation with the younger generation here, and I hope to keep some of or all of the fucking cast. I mean, you got to hang out the Hitch, Dolo, and fucking good
team, dude. Yeah, we got to have the core four.
I mean, so I'm curious to see.
I don't know who you cut, dude. We already had a cut Sanguinette. I mean, come on now. We cut.
Do you miss Sanguinette? I kind of miss Sanguinette, but like, I miss Sanguinette and I miss Frankie, dude. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they can always come back. Who knows? I do like that they had to deal with the reality of the situation, like the room being different, and then the fact that we're there so early, like the Zamboni guy doesn't actually get in till 6, and that was a nice callback. Nothing else to do, so Shoresy goes to take a shit. Like that's classic. Like what, first 3 seasons of Shoresy, where I always used to do that.
He likes to nice shit before each game. Yeah, he likes to shit before each game and between each period.
And then we get the first kind of big Jim's moment, when Delaney kind of gets taken out, and just you get that shot of them rising. Along with Palmer now, so you add Palmer to it, and that's great when the 4 of them are going at it, and you just see Schnurr and the other dude on the EU team just kind of kneeling while they're watching everybody just kind of go to war. On the Appledore team, they're still in the scrimmage here, but that was a great moment, right? Just the Gyms doing their thing.
The Gyms are so fucking beautiful, dude. What are they? They're just ravishing, or they're just such they're awesome. They're the Gyms,
beautiful souls, dude. They're beautiful souls.
Yeah.
And shout out kind of overall, like they did a great job, I think, establishing just how big these EU dudes are. There's a one scene where they're at the strip club, and you see like, you know what I mean? The stripper like comes up to like their belly button almost. Like, good job. Like, we're watching the
well, they talked it up, so they had, yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna be called like the tall, or like you're known for that, you gotta look big in a crowd.
We're not talking about Duncan the Tall. Duncan the Tall is another story. But these guys, they were hyped up to be that big. The average height 6'5". So you got to. I'm sure there was probably a little.
They need to look like monsters at all times. They need to look.
Got to make these guys look big, dude.
And as far as things I can incorporate into my personal life, dude, I love hitches. Like I never heard something so bad as that. Like I'm gonna use that, dude. I'm working that in. I'm making it a point to use that.
I want to look back. I was thinking about that earlier when I was re-watching these. Like, that's got to be up there with one of the most commonly used things. It's right up there with give your balls a tug, maybe even more.
Yeah, it's got to be top 5.
So bad as that. It's got to be right up there with one of the most common lines over the course of the seasons. Through the series of Shoresy, I think that's right there. It might even be the top one. So might have to look into that.
Yeah, and I just again Hitch just continues to be a standout for me. I love in the one scene where kind of everybody's drinking, everyone else is just having their puppers, but Hitch has a martini with like at least 4 olives that I could count. It just add the idea, he's the old man of the bunch here, so that's a lot of fun.
Hitch loves a martini, calls them martinis.
Yeah, Hitch is very funny whether he's getting his martini on or watching the what were they, the try-on halls or whatever.
This girl's trying on things.
Do you think, we get a little peek at Shoresy here and Laura Moore. Do you think Shoresy sleeps in a hoodie? Because it looks like he sleeps in a hoodie.
I mean, I feel like he might, dude, unless he falls asleep after banging and doesn't put his clothes back on. But if he's banging and then falls asleep, or if he's banging and then gets up to like take a piss or some shit and puts his hoodie back on, I bet you he falls asleep like that with his hoodie back on. But if he falls asleep without getting up for any reason, maybe not. But if he's getting up, he's probably putting that hoodie on, man.
Yeah, all I know is at the end of we're not going to jump all the way to the very end.
Maybe he bangs with the hoodie on.
Gets his own drawer, and what does he put in that drawer? Like 4 or 5 copies of the same hoodie. I love that. Like that's super meta, right? Like the idea, like he always wears the same thing, but like that's because he literally just that's it. But that wouldn't surprise me at all with Shoresy, right? He owns like 3 different, like he owns a couple of tracksuits, he owns those hoodies and jerseys, and that's what he owns.
Right, but you can't wear the same one day after day. So
Right,
if
you have to have different.
you got to have copies. You got to have like multiplicity, dude. When you make a copy of a copy. Although this is clothing, so it's not even that bad. Anyway, fucking, I don't know where.
Well, people complain like, "Oh, you sleep with your socks on." Like it's very interesting. Like he's in like his like a boxer briefs or whatever, but hoodie on. But
boxer briefs with a hoodie on, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's just an interesting combo. I never really.
I don't know if that's a Canadian thing or not. See me, I like to sleep with clothes on. Some people like to sleep naked. Me, I like to have some clothes on. I don't like to have too many clothes on. So if you have big, thick, like too much clothes on, it's uncomfortable. So I'd rather have like light clothes and good covers that we like whatever I need.
Yeah. You want a little something, basically, a little something.
But I don't like to sleep naked. I don't like to be naked. I'm not going to get too personal here, man. But I feel naked without my fucking clothes on, man. So
yeah, most people do, I think.
Well, no. Well, yeah.
Well, at least people who have that gene. I have known those people who are willing to just be naked at all times, so that they do exist. And once again, a very interesting, eclectic soundtrack here. I think Shoresy's starting to stretch their budget, their muscles a little bit here. The opening song at the strip club is "Eden" by Jules, and then we get a needle drop when we cut from Joey Jordan to the Colson, and this is "Go," the George Daniel remix by Salute and Nakamura Minami. But then, dude, we get Tribe Called Quest Scenario. This costs money. And this wasn't 10 seconds. They paid for it.
Dude, to get some fucking scenario, man, go for it, dude. Not that they need, like, they're always good with the soundtrack, dude. A lot of it's shit we don't know, which is cool because then it gives me a chance to explore shit that I didn't know. That was like, oh man, that fit. And whether I turn on to like the what it is or not after the fact is one thing, but no matter what it is, always fits to what's going on in the show. But if you drop fucking scenario in there, chances are it's gonna fit. As long as you.
I mean, Wayne Gretzky's Scenario just feels like Shoresy's kind of level.
You have to really fuck up to not
right?
make that fit, but I feel like it could have had a better place. I feel like it could have had a better place in it. But I mean, maybe something with more action. But Wayne Gretzky is a big fucking deal. So, I don't know. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I just think the placement for that song should have been somewhere else. They could have found a better one for that and made that song somewhere else that might have been a little bit more, give it a little more oomph, I don't know.
Oh, fair enough. I was just so like, because I was like, wow, that sounds like Tribe. And I'm like, wait, are they really playing Scenario? Because again, they've always picked a good soundtrack, but not necessarily a lot of stuff I was familiar with that probably cost a ton to clear. So it feels like them kind of taking a step up in terms of the budget. And then they actually set the whole scrimmage against the Appledorns to a song called Hot Ride by an artist who had pretty sure close to a '1 hit in the 90s, kind of one of the early electronic artists. Soup, any idea who this would be? Won a ton of electronic stuff in the 90s there.
Yeah, I could take a weird in the early 90s.
It would probably be mid to late 90s. Call it 96 to 98 if I had to guess.
I could take a wild stab at it and say like a band stabbing westward or some shit.
Oh, it's not Stabbing Westward. It's actually the Prodigy. Remember
Like
Firestarter?
Prodigy, okay,
Just
all
did
right.
Firestarter. I am the Firestarter. But that's his song, Hot Ride, the one that they set the scrimmage to.
No
So
shit.
that's
Okay.
a kind of a deep cut there. Again, I don't know what really he's been up to since Firestarter, or I'm not even sure if it's a dude or a band or a DJ or whatever. But that's the Prodigy, and then we go out on Fear
Smack
by
your bitch up,
Godford.
dude. Yeah.
That smack
That
your
one.
bitch up.
That one too. I remember that Prodigy shit.
Yeah, a
man.
couple of hits, dude. There, so a couple
favorite,
of again,
yeah.
that was when the kind of the electronic stuff was just coming out. So, and we need to check back in on our episode MVPs. Every episode of Shoresy, we hand out an MVP. The criteria is pretty much ours. Soup, you're up first here for the first 3 episodes of season 5. You've gone with Shoresy, Hitch, and the Gyms. Who do you have here for season 5, episode 4 as your MVP?
It took a lot of thought, dude, and I narrowed it down a couple of times after thinking about this and that, and breaking a couple things down. But I'm going with that, dude. And the only reason I'm going with that because it could have been any one of the 4 in that fucking office at the time, but just because of the Dutch names and the conversations between everybody there, the whole interaction, I think she took the whole fucking taco at the end of the day, man, and got that slice of the fucking Dutch pie, dude. So I'm going with that.
Well, a little taco with Dutch pie. We like that.
Taco Dutch taco pie.
Taco
dude.
Dutch pie, dude. That sounds like some kind of fusion band or
Fusion.
something. But
Yeah.
I would be there for it. I'd be there for it. My first 3 episodes of season 5 have been pretty close to yours. I had Hitch, Shoresy, and Zigwan in episode 3. You know what? You mentioned that. I'm just going to go with the girls here. They're pretty much
I thought about that. I didn't know if it was fair.
They're the girls as a unit, because they appear in all their scenes together.
That's
So
like giving one stick to the Gyms, though. Do they split it up into a bowl? Like,
well, I mean, we'll have to find out if
the game stick, man. I don't know. I might have to call. I might have to throw a challenge flag on this with the games because of the game stick rule from back in the early season. You can't give it to all 3 gyms.
Yeah, you did. You gave it to all 3. You gave it to all 3 gyms last episode, so we already reset the precedent. Yep.
All right, well then, fair enough. Game stick goes to.
It's been open, dude. You can buy them in 3-packs these days. That's the deal. You can buy them in 3-packs. So you're going with that, and I'm just going with the girls in general.
Oh, it's a noble. Yeah, it's definitely a good decision, man.
Yeah, we can afford a couple extra sticks here. It's good. We got it. It's in the budget. Next up, we have our episode grades. We grade every episode of Shoresy on a scale of 1 to 6 cans of puppers. Soup, thus far, you've been 4, 4, and 5. Are you stepping it up for episode 4? How many cans of puppers you got here, 1 to 6?
I really like this one. I felt like it kept it moving, dude, and I'm giving this one 5, dude. This is just one shy of a 6er.
Soup goes 5 with this one. Thus far, for the first 3 of season 5, I've gone 4, 4, 5. I think I got to go with 5 here, too. I had a lot of fun with this one. Again, it gets a little bit tough here because you're kind of building the momentum. It feels like cheating, but it's just a lot of fun here, man. So I had so much fun with this one. And like the Corey and Liam alone, right there, it's at a 4. You add anything else into it, I think you're at least a 5 here. So we both got 5 on it.
Or whatever the fuck they are. All the names. I gotta get those down.
Oh, the names are great, dude. Yeah,
I tried. I think I have them in my head, and I go to try to say them, and I just can't. Like, what's wrong with me, man? I got to figure out that language. It's on my list, and something I need to work on to get better at. So, challenge. I'm taking the challenge. I'm going to learn how to say these names, and next season, I'm going to know how to say these fucking Appledorn, not the Appledorn.
Yeah, if you can get about, if you get like 10 in a row or something, I feel like it's like Simon, right?
That should be a challenge, man. If I can get 5 in a row, I should get a sponge, man. Is that cool?
I'm sure we can do something like that. You can do that, or you can like, I don't know, memorize the, whatever the first 20 lines of "We Didn't Start the Fire" or something like that. I'm sure we can come up with that.
Yeah, I like that idea, man. These sponges, man. I'm thinking I'm trying to fucking spit.
Everyone needs a couple more sponges in your life. So that was practice how you play. Next up, we have season 5, episode 5, total buy-in, the 29th overall episode of Shoresy. Originally aired January 15th, 2026, directed by Sean Skeen, written by Jared Kiso. The very short plot synopsis is the team gets their house in order. Soup, once again, Jory Jordan back here, doing the same thing here. Has the interview with Shoresy, never waits for Shoresy to respond. I almost died at a couple of these. First up, you have You think you're hot shit because you beat a team of guys named by Dr. Seuss? And if that wasn't good enough, you have. Think your phone would unlock if I use the facial ID function by pointing it at a 14-year-old bulldog's butthole or ball sack. Not only is that fun, not only is that great alliteration, the deadpan delivery by Jory Jordan is just phenomenal, right, dude? Like, again, that broke me a little bit.
I can't even begin to explain that. This might top episode 1 fucking the season opener. It's right there. I still say the everybody jerking off season opener is maybe just a touch better, but this is a fucking episode opener. Fucking phenomenal, dude. I mean, this is the best Jory Jordan we've gotten yet. And we've gotten some good moments here and there out of him, man. He's grown to be, that kind of. But this is just, this is absolutely his best fucking stellar.
It's all fire, dude. Like everything here, just the entire concept that he's like, oh yeah, we're so convinced that you'll lose that we have solicited comments before, like our post-game comments before, which included,
Not since I got some ass on my dad's fake grass have I seen someone get fucked on home turf like that. Thanks, con man. And Liz from Manitoulin writes, haven't seen anyone get this embarrassed in their own backyard since my aunt tried to piss out a bonfire.
You know what's hilarious is immediately after he says shit like this, and he's like, George Jordan for kids fucking social or for kids fucking broadcast. It's a kid show, dude. And he's I love that about it, dude. That they bring you.
oh yeah, remember last season, like he goes out with Shoresy and he's just doing shots. And like, I think the actor is 23 or 24. So
Jory Jordan, man, Jory Jordan's legit, dude. Like, you want to punch him in the face, but you're like
spin-off short webisodes or something. Jory Jordan's probably your in. Imagine Jory Jordan interviewing real NHL players if they could do that somehow. Get him in there just like during the playoffs, like like they're in on the joke. You know what I mean?
I'd be down for it. I don't know.
Dude, that'd be great cross promotion. So I'm just throwing that out there. And at the very end, it looks like he gets a call, and he's like, "All right, I got somewhere more important to be," and he leaves. Do you think George Jordan was bullshitting, or do you think he actually had somewhere more important to be?
I think I'm going 60-40. He was bullshitting and didn't have anywhere important to be. I might even bump that up to 70-30 because I think he just plays off a lot of shit. And then maybe later he might have something to do. But right now he's like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm going fucking, this is my way out,
Yeah, I think he was just trying to pull, like, you know what I mean? The leverage card here, trying to act like he was like, the big swinging dick in the room.
That too, right, yeah.
Like establishing, like, you're here because I want you here, Shoresy. Like that's
yeah. Fuck off! I got work to do.
Yeah, which is cool because then Shoresy kind of like basically brushes him off after that point. So maybe it all kind of worked out. And we had talked about when we discussed the first 3 episodes, maybe something with this Sudbury Church League would come back around. And it wasn't quite like we thought. Like it's not the players or the game itself, but the idea that they're going to play at this outdoor rink at the church. I mean, I'm all there for it, right? I mean, it feels like this decision fit perfectly for the season, right?
100%, dude. I love the outdoor fucking keep it rustic, man. You wanted fucking, North American hockey. This is what you're gonna get, dude. Playing fucking outside, elements, get as real as you can. I fucking love it.
Yeah, it was wonderful, and all the kind of like little tidbits, that we got about like the hockey league were great, because it was the church league. Like the police were here so much that the players stopped caring that the police were here. So that just any time that like the police are anywhere so much that like people just stop caring is pretty hysterical. But they also set up the idea that there is going to be, because of that, this zero tolerance policy, which of course is going to come back around. So that's nice setup. But then we get the ultimate setup, right? Total buy-in. You got to get it all out of your system, and we've heard this before, right? Like boxers, you know what I mean. You can't bang during training, that sort of thing. But the
You're
weird
hammering too
shit
much
that
ass.
everyone has to get out of their system is so good. Like it's all basically female related, be it getting the lappies, whether just having to just get some pure banging done, whether to get your relationship issues out of the way. Did you have a particular favorite out of all this? I mean, I love just trying to kill Delaney with lappies, like the idea, like. You catch a kid with smokes, you make him smoke all of them till he don't want to smoke no more. And so the lady's like, all right, everyone got $20. Like, if you're going to give someone unlimited lappies, you better have a budget. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, I'm saying, man, like it's one thing to buy somebody a fucking a box of cigarettes when you're a kid and teach a kid to smoke them all until you fucking puke. Buying lappies or 8 balls for a fucking strip club cokehead, man, that might be a hard one to fucking financial it's gonna hit you a little harder financially on that aspect, man. If you want to be like, here, do all this until you're sick of it. But dude, I remember like back in the day, you see that cartoon where the kid got caught smoking, little Donald Duck got caught smoking, then they give him the big cigars until he can't smoke anymore, and then he gets sick and everything else. And everybody knows that lesson from when we were younger, at least, not everybody, but I know people other than myself that have known that lesson from when we were younger. And yeah, you give somebody too much of something to get them off it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You can't do it with everything. But in this case, yeah, maybe it might have worked with the lappies. I feel like it, kind of did its purpose, so.
Well, I guess in the whatever in the finale again, we're spoiling everything. He does offer to pay for a lappy for anybody who scores a goal. So I think that's kind of like the full kind of coming back around for Delaney's character, which is just completely excellent.
Well, yeah, that's one thing, man. If you're at the end of the game and it's like, all right, well, yeah, man, you can buy people lappies for after the game. It gives you incentive to fucking do whatever you got to do during the game to get the lappy. Like Palmer was like, man, now I really want to score. So anyway, we're not on that one yet, but yeah, things are going there, man. So
Things are going there. Like I love how just like when Shoresy talks about like getting all the banging out is just all on our guy fucking Gord there. And so like he's got to get it in, like he's got to keep going until his cheeks lose the color, just getting drained by Z. There's worse ways to go. He's doing his best to hydrate or whatever, but like damn, like that dude is just like too like handsome and put together, right? He's got like the perfectly manicured beard and like all of the like proper tattoos and muscle. Like damn, dude, like I guess he really does got to get out of system because he's got options. He's got options, but so does Goody. Like that kind of sets up the scene, with all the gyms, but most notably the one gym in Goody. This is a callback to season 4, with all the stuff with the hockey moms and the jealousy. And I thought this was pretty excellent because Jim's obviously just being Jim, like, oh, we only kissed all this, and like when it comes to Goody, like make your case is like, I was the sex 10 out of 10. Like, all right, I'm done. So, again, we'll get into the actual choice that was being made, but some of the mediation was just great. Finally culminating in Hitch and his girl, kind of talking to at least everybody else, like Dolo and his girl, and then Michaels and Mercedes. Dude, Mercedes trying to get one up on Michaels was just the best, right? She banged at least one of the Freezer twins. Not sure if it was both or not. And Cy Silvestri, even the Italian guy, who she saved in her phone is the spaghetti emoji.
Yeah.
That broke me a little bit, dude.
Spaghetti emoji, dude.
Like Mercedes, we haven't seen her in a minute, right? I don't think we've seen her in a minute, and she was.
I like that she made the cameo, though, dude, man. She's an alright character. She comes in, does, it's always usually. It's something significant when she's around. This time it was just comedy, but that's great. Whatever, I'll take that. But yeah, she was leaning into that pretty hard. And she called them the Fridge Twins, which I thought was great too. The Fridge Twins.
Yeah, it's on the Freezer Twins. That was perfect, dude. Like just the idea that it was purely, to get back at Michaels, Michaels is like, wait, are we still getting back at each other? Like I didn't even think. Of course, he gets his feelings at the very end, but it's nicely offset. But the idea, like Dolo and his girl, who's also banging the basketball player, they're in an open relationship, and then Hitch and his girl have a very healthy relationship because when he cheated on her, she cheated on him. So it's even Steven, eye for an eye.
It evens out. Yeah, that's what they say. Right? Balance out. Yeah.
Anything else on the threesome? Do you think this was like just a way to push the relationship forward? Do you think Laura was just trying to trap Shoresy and get him to say the wrong thing? Or do you think if Shoresy said, yo, I'm in, she would have done it?
I think so, but I think it would have been something. I don't know, dude. Like I tried to put myself in that situation. I was like, man, what do you do if you're in that situation?
Can't win, dude. It's a no win.
You can't. There's no way, man. So the best you can do is be like, nah, I only want to bang one girl. And hope whatever happens after that happens after that. I feel like that's anybody's best answer. Realistically, it's like, yeah, of course, man, you're cool with it. Let's do it. That's going to be the answer every time for anybody. But
yeah, I think Shoresy answered right. Obviously he hangs out with her kid and it all works out. But I loved, kind of all the stuff with Nat. Like first Shoresy, trying to disguise, like, oh, I'm talking about a friend or something like that. And she drills down on it pretty quick. And then they both have the same reaction. Why does she want you there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and he even says that to her. Well, I don't understand. If you could just bang Jill, like, what do you want me
Why
there
the fuck
for?
you want? What do you want me? Well, yeah, what am I supposed to do, man? Like, why do you want me here for, man? No, but then it would be like, dude, if you're Shoresy or if you're anybody or even me, it'd be like, all right, well, so you want me here, man? You gotta fucking set the tone. You gotta go in there and set the fucking tone, dude. So,
I think the tone was set, and that kind of brings us to the game time. And you got to hand out the A's and the C's here, the assistants and the captains. I thought this was awesome, right? You get the first ass man, that's Jim, for kind of being the mediator, and then for Schnurr for not getting a lappy, for sending everyone else in there. Like, I thought that was absolutely awesome. Then of course Hitch has to get
sometimes that's what
the
you don't
C.
do. They get you
He's the
done.
old man. Cool when everyone hugs Hitch, right? Like he tries to like kind of play it off, and then everyone
Dude,
just
it's
gets in
just a
kind of a
man. He
gang group
deserves to
hug.
be captain, man. If anybody can get in Shoresy's footsteps, man, or whatever, big shoes to fill. Like Shoresy was a cat. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to Hitch is the only like who else could have done it? Like Dolo is great. I don't know that he's a captain though. Hitch. I think he
No,
got
Hitch is he's the old man here. You know, what I
Goody's
mean? He
great
is what he
too.
is. Like,
Goody's great too. I don't know that he's captain role. I think Hitch is the guy that could be the captain.
yeah, Hitch is the captain, dude. He's
Yeah, he's the guy, man.
he's the guy. Like, I mean, that's again, he's the one who brought us into the season. On all fours. Jerking off to Tryon halls. Like that's
You do it like that.
yeah. I mean, if you can like that, if he can sell you on that, he can sell you on anything, right? And then basically the rest of the episode is just the setup for the finale. I like that Big Mo gets the interview with Annika instead of Shoresy. It's like, yeah, I'll get you after the game. You know what I mean? Just nice little setup. Obviously, once again, wearing the tracksuits here. A lot of kind of motivational stuff here. This kind of leans into the sports aspect of it. When you kind of get to zoom out on the board, like everybody goes. Just getting you hyped up. And man, that ending, they got the long walk to the rink through the snow. That was just
I
cool.
love that, dude. Yeah.
And then, it looks like you're set up. You do the anthems or whatever, and they just turn around and the soundtrack cuts out and you just hear the sound of them dropping the gloves and the sticks. Fantastic, right? Like, that's how that's a cliffhanger. That's how you set up the finale, right?
They're gonna do some real bad shit to them guys, man.
I mean, that's what you do, right? You build a winning culture. We got a couple of callbacks to that throughout the episode. That was fun. Like, everybody is bought in, so we have the total buy-in. At the very beginning of the episode, I didn't mention it, but the bring-in track here for the title card was "Come Towards the Light" by Kilimanjaro. And Soup, we also get Van Morrison here. When the Shoresy turns down the threesome and everybody kind of starts dancing or whatever and reconciling, we get "Crazy Love" by Van Morrison. So Tribe Called Quest and Van Morrison. Shoresy's definitely expanding the soundtrack a little bit, right?
Yeah, spending on the soundtrack, dude. Throwing a little fucking
little bit, and then just to make sure, they're like, we're still Shoresy. The final track is I'd never heard of it.
They don't need to, but I like that they can. I like that he's flexing that a little bit. Like, I mean, because it's not necessary, but the fact
they're
that
coming up a little bit. I mean, again, the music, Gretzky, some of the way the stuff is filmed, they get real cameos from the Sports Center guys and the other hockey commentators and everything. It feels like Shoresy is kind of leveling up a little
super
bit.
Super popular, dude. I mean, as it should be, I mean, and yeah, it should be getting the recognition and shit. Does it need it? No. Could have been fine without it, but that it has it, fucking awesome,
I am there for that, and it's time to be here for our episode MVPs for episode 5 of season 5. Soup, thus far, your first 4 for season 5, you've gone Shoresy, Hitch, the Gyms, and Nat. Who do you have for your episode MVP? Season 5, episode 5. Total.
Dude, this was kind of a tough one, man, because I know it's coming in, and I know it's coming into closing time here, as far as like one episode left and shit. But and then the opening scene with Jory Jordan, I was like real close. I'm not going to pick him, but I was real close to picking him, dude. He was right there, just because of that opening scene, and he deserves honorable recognition. Also, there was a couple others in mind, but I'm ultimately going with fucking Mo. He kept it simple, and and this is the first time where I really got it from, okay, I get it, it's keep it simple. Now it's keeping it simple and making simple sense to me. Okay, here you go, Mo. Boom. You got fucking MVP of this episode.
Yeah, Mo, every episode he keeps getting a little better because he gets a little more to do each time, but he always comes through. Like, dude's got some gravitas, right? He's like one of those characters that doesn't say a lot, but you can just tell, especially
doesn't need you. That's what you love about it. You don't got to keep it simple, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's not a rah-rah coach.
You
He's
get it either way, yeah, it sinks in, dude. You get it, yeah, he just finds a way to keep it. And Shoresy's right, find a way to keep it simple. That's fucking important. Dude gets MVP.
loving that. I have thus far gone with Hitch, Shoresy, Z, and the girls as a group. I also had Jory Jordan and Mercedes on my just left off list. Obviously, like you said, all the stuff about Jory Jordan and Mercedes, man, that was just literally a couple of snort skis there, just laughed out loud. But ultimately, I got to give it up for Schnurr, dude, because he was both fun
Okay.
and dude,
Sure.
if you're going to a strip club and everybody, like, the goal is to, like, get so many lap dances that you don't even want one, and you forego that,
Don't
that
take
takes
one.
some willpower, dude.
Yeah, it's powering through, man. That's taking one for the team for sure.
That's taking one for the team all the way up, dude. So Joy
Right.
Jordan, Mercedes, both worthy. I'm going with Schnurr, though. Dude. I'm getting my Schnurr
Schnurr,
on.
respect on Schnurr, dude.
Yeah, give it up for the old man, dude. He's doing his thing.
He was banging that a couple seasons ago, so
And we got to give our episode grades here. Thus far in season 5, Soup, you have been 4, 4, 5, 5 cans of pumpers. Grading every episode 1 to 6 cans of pumpers. How many you have here for season 5, episode 5? Total buy-in.
all right. And this might sound bad, and I don't want it to, but I am dropping down to a 4-pack here on this one. Not that I didn't like the episode, because I did, and I feel like it's right there on a 5er. I just didn't have enough in me to drink that 5th pumpers that night, and I think that's what it was. But it was a great episode all around. I just don't feel like it was I'm gonna step and drink that 5th one.
I'm with you there. I am also going to go 4 cans. I have gone 4, 4, 5, 5, almost the same as you. Same kind of thing, though. I feel like 4 and 5 were basically 2 parts of the same episode, more or less. And this was just, it didn't quite have the comedic highs. I felt like this one had a little bit more kind of just, workman-like setup shit to do. So still loved it. Don't think they've ever made a bad episode of Shoresy. Doubt they ever will. But we're both going 4 cans of pumpers on this bad boy. Next up, we have Who Are We? Season 5, episode 60, 30th overall episode of Shoresy. Originally aired January 22nd, 2026. Directed by Sean Skeen and once again written by Jared Kiso. The short plot synopsis is the team makes sure their opponents never forget who they are. Soup, they teased it in the previous episode. The church ladies were like, well, we're not going to have any of this violence. We end episode 5 with the guys dropping their gloves, dropping their sticks. Awesome, just awesome opening montage right here. Like, they just lay it all out there. Like, this is, they're establishing this is the North American game.
Fucking setting the tone, dude. You got to go set the fucking tone, man.
That's setting the tone right there, dude. That's setting the tone.
tone.
I mean, and we even saw a couple of people in the crowd, though, wearing Shoresy's the hoodie. So I think it's catching on, dude. I think he might be winning this battle subtly.
Hoodie battle, he's in play for sure, man. And yeah, opening, I mean, yeah, dude, setting the fucking tone, dude. This is
any disappointment that it looked like Michael set it out, like, or would you have liked him to try to fight a goalie who was like 2 feet taller than him?
Yeah, maybe, but you know what? He's Marksman Michaels, dude, or whatever he likes to call himself. No Miss Michael, all the fucking names he makes for it, but it's fucking Michaels, dude. Gotta have him there, man. And I think he fucking ultimately he did what he does, dude. He's fucking Michaels, man. He's
I think all our guys got in some good shots there, but I think Goody got in the best one, dude. You got like the almost like the marble punch, like the real kind of badass one. But I thought just kind of great setup overall. I mean, obviously they're shoveling the blood off the ice, right? Like, and that's at the point, like, this is gonna get good. And then the shots they have, the slow zoom outs of both teams on the bench with zip ties around their wrists was incredible, right? Like, talking about setting the stakes.
Yeah, I mean, and then you got the coach freaking out and everything, they're all zip tied up, and yeah, dude, it's tense. It brought the heat right away. As soon as that shit opened up, it brought the fucking heat, and that's what you wanted. We were building up all season to this, man, so did it right. Definitely did it right, man.
I mean, you could, I guess, call it a couple of different ways. Like, do you think maybe they were a little bit too, like, on the nose? Like, we opened the season with the whole talk about would you rather lose honorably or win dishonorably, in this context of taking a dive. And here they cut back to it multiple times. They do it early in the episode, late in the episode. Little too on the nose. Like, should they have trusted the audience a little bit more to make that connection, or were you okay with them kind of just blatantly cutting back to it like that?
Maybe, but I like the throwbacks. I think it kind of drilled it in a little bit harder. Not so much as like having to do a whole montage, which maybe the end is a kind of what I don't know, but either way, I think it played well. I don't think it was a flaw in any regard.
No, not a flaw. Just again a narrative choice here, because this ran a little bit shorter than you would have thought. About 27 minutes, 26 minutes for the
It's the average time,
which
right? They
usually
were
run
all
a little
about
bit
that.
longer. So
I would have liked it to have ran longer. You always want the last one to run a little longer. I don't know why they didn't, but
I think budget purposes, we got a lot of hockey action in the final two episodes, which I
yeah,
loved. But I'm guessing that's where the majority of the budget for the season went to. Because you can see, man, it's got to
maybe
take a lot of takes
soundtrack.
to get these actors to get, shots on goal and everything. Like, it's not that easy to set it all up like that. So I'm guessing that's kind of a
Oh,
lot of where it
there's
went.
multiple takes there for sure. Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, and if there is a Deus Ex Machina, kind of a hand from God, like the one thing that you have to accept that makes the season work. Remember way back in episode 1, Nat banged a random dude off Tinder or whatever the random thing was. Turns
Yeah.
out to be the cop here. And dude, shout
Right,
out
right.
this cop who he reminded me like he's either like the Chad meme or like Jamie Lannister from Game of Thrones, like little beefier, bigger chin or whatever. But like, and I just love that. Then the ultimate callback where the circle like circles back around the square, where he's like, "Oh, it's okay, we don't mind it. We love that all the Bulldogs know our names."
Yeah, see, exactly. Another thing that know the name,
That's good
man.
writing,
Bringing that
or at
back
least
around,
paying
man.
off like
Yep.
that makes up for it, right? Like it is a little bit random that Nat gets that little bit of help because she happened to bang this guy, but on the other
But
hand, like
also
he
knowing
also
the
has a
names.
tangential
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah, dude, and that's one thing this is why I love Jared Kiso. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but this is one of them. As far as writing the shit, and it's not only just Shoresy, it's Letterkenny, and just all these little things. Like, there's so many of them throughout all the fucking seasons of both shows that are just so, you know, I don't know, just him, just next, but relatable to just real deal shit. He's so good at that, man. I mean, genius, man. I mean, fucking props, dude. Stick tap.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me a little bit of the early seasons of Archer, which were pretty much like there was a writing staff, but it was really Adam Reed. Just like it all came from his head, and like eventually he had to step back to keep the show going because there's only so long you can kind of do it for. But I know Letterkenny ran for a long time, but it seems like they have
I
a
think
lot of
12. I
momentum
think
here,
12.
right? Like you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like Shoresy is necessarily close to the end for what it's worth, but we're not quite to the end yet. Like what do you think about the buys here? Like we obviously get a nice little update on Jack, like since Shoresy had that talk with him in episode 1, he's now leading the league in goals. Again, it pretty much exists just to keep calling back to the lessons that Shoresy taught him, which we have had imparted to the team throughout the season. I thought it was effective. I honestly just wish they had a couple more jokes or whatever, but I thought it was good use of the buys.
Yeah, same, dude. And I really think that going forward, that's going to be a big part of where the show's going to go. I mean, obviously they're going to be involved. You know, I think he's going to be a main character going into whatever comes next after this. And I'm curious to see where that's going to go and how that's going to fall into play. But I would be disappointed if it wasn't. So I'm happy with that. And I love the throwbacks to like the first episode going into the last episode and like how it all comes together. You tie that knot. I'm not Captain Knots over here, but sometimes you tie that shit all together at the end. And whether it's a fucking captain's knot
Yeah,
or
rabbit goes around down the hole or whatever.
yeah,
Whatever,
or
whatever we
rabbit
got to
ears
do,
or whatever the
do the
fuck it
loop to
is,
loop
dude.
there.
I mean,
Dude, and then we get two of our favorite, personalities here. The interviewers here, Jory Jordan and Annika, get to cross paths again. Dude, that's great because he's just slamming on her, right? Like he just basically implies she's
man.
only at the position she's in because she's showed up naked or fuck people or whatever. And then she just basically gives him the Heisman over. Like she's just like, it's funny to illustrate just how that's the most kid-like Jory Jordan has ever felt because it seems like she is easily able to just handle him.
Yeah, and he definitely I mean Jory's been known to step over the line a little bit, but that shit with Anik, man, it was a little bit and of course it was intentional and all that, but I expected her to respond a little bit more than she did. She kind of just shut it down. That's fine, it's more professional.
Yeah,
But
she gripped him up a little bit. She got him. She definitely got the grip on him. She got a little. She got
and
some
he got
physical
bull,
action
man. Come
into
on,
it.
are you kidding me?
He's got, dude, talk about the reach, like Shoresy again. Maybe that's a callback in itself. Shoresy was afraid to fight the basketball dude because of his reach here. Annika's got some reach on Joy Jordan.
Oh fuck yeah,
You got
man!
the reach, you got the height, like
She'd
might
rip
even
that
have the
girl
weight, dude.
apart,
Joy
man.
Jordan, not a lot to him. Not like, not like she's
Yeah,
a big girl or anything, but
you want to
very
put
much a
a
Joy
wager
Jordan.
on this, man? Yeah, Anika Shambo or fucking Joy Jordan, dude.
Oh, Anika
Say that
Shambo, and
Anik's winning that every
it's really,
day,
it's
dude.
really, is it going to be a first round knockout or not? I think that's the only question here. Give me
Depends on if
Shambo.
she
Like,
wants to prolong the torture, man.
yeah, Shambo by knockout all day. I would watch that. Bring back Foxy Boxing, I guess. That's what we're asking for.
I'm down, man. Let's do it.
And, they kind of undercut that with the sweet moment where Shoresy sees, Laura and her kid walk in, kind of mows like, oh, that must be nice for you or whatever. And, Shoresy gets a couple of those. Like, he does a great job of, like, being vulnerable in the moment, right? Like, when he usually tries to hide it, he puts a head down or whatever, but, you could tell, like, he's feeling a little bit. And then we get the game itself. Obviously, it was a whole great bit that, we had teams wrestling in churches, in garages or whatever. But I just love the way Shoresy says, all right, let's kill some guys. And then they get down 2 goals. What do they do, Soup? They piss 2 goals. Shoresy just loves that they're 3 deep with fucking killers. And you know what? They didn't kill enough guys in the first period. Let's kill some more guys, dude. And then, you get the call back to Jack talking about the whole thing. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. Just do the thing. And, then we get to the intermission there, second and third period. They're down 3-0. And Shoresy's like, dude, this is fun. Total fucking buy-in. And then Michaels tries to say, pipe up. What do you say? Shut the fuck up, Michaels. Because that's what you say. Just how well done. And then both intermissions, one of the Freezer twins is just in the pisser randomly. Just again,
which one is it, though? That's the thing. You don't know which one it is. Either time
you don't know which one it is, dude. I don't even know if they know which one it is.
They don't, probably, man.
And dude, and then it sets up Delaney, like that whole thing. Shoresy's like, you fought, 3 basketball players to be or whatever. Like, kind of what you're doing. At the end of the day, he's like, I love scoring goals. And that's just so perfect because that's what Shoresy told Jack in episode 1, right? Like, why are you here? You love scoring goals. All hockey players love scoring goals. So again, just excellent writing here. They come out for that third period. That is fairly epic. They kind of set up the eventuality of the dive with everyone talking about, like, man, they're really letting them get away with it. And Soup, is there nothing worse than a sporting event where they change the refereeing rules or style in the last 2 minutes or whatever? Like, why would you do that? Why would you let them play the whole game one way and then all of a sudden at the end call it differently? Like, that's
dude? This is really something I probably shouldn't even get into right now.
Yeah, I mean, but it's applicable across all sports. It's not just
it's
hockey.
Immediately going to take me to fucking what happened in the NFL 2 weeks ago. So yeah, no, man, I think it's bullshit. I don't think any game should be dictated by fucking officials, referees, or the league. It should be raw on the field, fucking, or on the ice, or whatever it is. Fucking in the moment shit, and that's what should dictate the game, man. Not, from up above.
Yeah, they do a great job of setting it up because they're hammering each other, right? And then all of a sudden at the end, they're going to call the ticky-tacky thing. But again, shout out Delaney here, right? Like, he comes through with the goal, and you've talked about the way they use the soundtrack and the editing. Like, they do a great job where they drop out the music right when they get that first goal, and they go to the hockey sounds and then kind of bring it back in slowly. It's just done so well, especially because, remember, during the second intermission, Delaney turned over a new leaf. Like, he's buying lappies for whoever gets a goal. Palmer's like, well, now I'm the guy who wants to get a lappy. And Delaney sets up
Everyone's
Palmer
everyone's the one score now, man, even more than normal. Yeah, man, because you're getting a lappy too and a score, fuck.
Just very, very cool, dude. And, and shout out to the Euro coach. Just awesome, like, sports villain, dude, right? Like, right down to the end where the dude takes a dive. It reminded me a ton of, like, Karate Kid, right? When you're showing the, I forget his name, but the evil dojo dude. Like, yeah, go, you know what I mean? Like, just so, like.
Sweep the leg, dude. Fucking sweep the leg.
Yeah, complete sweep the leg moment there, I thought. Kind of from the Euro coach there. but it does. Were you surprised at all that our guys lost? I think that's where it was going, right? They set it up pretty well with the idea of losing honorably or winning dishonorably, and this is the way we'd rather go, right? We didn't want to win dishonorably.
Yeah, I think that kind of said it, especially since they were throwing it back. It made more sense. They did it the right way. If it was going to be a loss, obviously you want to see them go in there and win that fucking game. But if it is, it played out perfectly down to the wire, and then with those throwbacks from the previous episode, whatever one, way back in the beginning of the season with win honorably or win dishonorably or lose honorably. What would you rather do? He couldn't answer it. Well, now he's got the answer. And I think that proved the point, dude, and it made sense. So it was a perfect way to, again, brilliant, brilliant way to fucking wrap up the season, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and they tie in again more hockey tradition. They have the handshake line at the end. It always happens, at the end of every playoff series, especially, or usually every game. Shoresy tells the other coach thank you because he helped him, get that answer, which sets up the cool interview with Annika after it looks like Shoresy's been sitting out there, by himself, right? Like just still contemplating for hours, and then she's finally like, all right, yeah, we need this interview. Nice job, right? Again, Shoresy just being not so vulnerable like as he's ever. Like, he's like, well, we didn't win, but, and she's like, what's up with the but? Like, this is, we'll never lose again. But they did win, right? I think in this case, the moral victory was, good enough. And like you said, that's paid off by the final montage, where we get, all the Sports Center guys and everything like that and showing everything, which again was super cool, but pays off the whole season. I guess I'm slightly disappointed. Are you slightly disappointed at all? We didn't get Gretzky coming back at all to comment on the game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it too, but I felt like it was a reach, man. To even get him on that phone conversation, I thought was cool. Like, will we maybe see him again in the future? Possibly, and that would be great. But you take what you can get with a guy like that, man. And the fact that that even happened was phenomenal. And yeah, you would have hoped for that. And like I said, it crossed my mind, but I'm not bummed out that it didn't happen. It would have been great if it did, but.
Yeah, there were some nice callbacks. Were you mad at all that they wanted partying with the EU dudes? Like that they were cool with them?
No, because I think this is a throwback to like the other season where they had the fucking no-show all-star thing or whatever, and then they all
all these guys are on the same team now who hated each other. Yeah.
So
it's
they all
respect,
play
right?
each other. But yeah, you play a game, you get respect for each other, and I think that spells out again back to the whole hope for humanity thing. You don't hate.
Yeah, as long as the coach wasn't there, I wouldn't have bought if the coach was there. The EU
you're
coach
all playing the same
there.
fucking sport, man. You might be on different teams, but you're playing the same fucking sport, man. So at the end of the day, you're still. You're all in it for the same fucking reason, so you have that common ground, man. So you should be able to drink a beer and have a good time together.
There were a great couple of subtle touches here. Like if you look at the EU dudes, no cuts, blood, or whatever. You look at our guys, they're all banged up. So that's kind of a nice subtle way of just emphasizing that they played them tough, but these dudes really are like kind of bigger than
they average 6'5", man.
Yeah. Oh man. And you actually saw them bring back like some of the employees when they were doing the little party on the ice after. So again, kind of bringing back like include everybody in the franchise. And even on the Sports Center bit, they do the callback to like, some guys who put a hockey stick in their hand and they turn into a completely different person. Which is a very poignant way to kind of go out on. And then you get the, like you talked about, the final montage where Nat's basically doing the narration, talking about like, hockey players get a little bit of bad rep, but, these guys, they're pretty good guys. But again, you put a hockey stick in their hand and they turn into completely different.
But that's true, man. I mean, that's true with anything, anything that anybody does, you put.
God forbid you put a spatula and a knife in your hand and then.
Or a guitar, I mean, it's one or the other, or whatever with anybody, man. You give them their tools and they're going to use them. If you're a true artist or you're into what you do, you have any passion whatsoever for whatever the fuck, then, you put that fucking tool in your hand, you're going to fucking use that tool, man.
Yeah, well, that's why you got to keep them separated. You got to do the offspring, dude. You got, you got to leave the work at home sometimes. That's the crucial part, man.
Yeah, you got to pick and choose, man.
Yeah, you got to pick and choose. But do you think is Shoresy officially moving in with Laura Moore here? Like a slightly early prediction. He's putting all those hoodies in a drawer, right? We see he's putting 3, 4 copies
It
of the
looks
same
like
hoodie. And
the kid's cool with it. It's definitely going in that direction, man. There was a
But
thing.
honestly, very inefficient to put hoodies in a drawer, right? You should hang hoodies for a space.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what he's thinking with that.
Yeah,
At least
you're
roll
folding
off,
a hood, just not like it's worse than a fitted sheet. It's just not something you really want to
Even
do.
when I pack shit in the drawers, I don't fold them. Roll it up. Rolling it up.
Yeah, rolling
You
is
save space,
absolutely
and you don't get fucking lines in your shit when you go.
yeah, that's the best way to go. Yeah, if you can't, yeah, you're
Roll it
right.
up.
That's
Roll
100%. Yeah, you roll. The roll's the way to go. And dude, this is a show that's always done the finales well and the final shots well. That final zoom out, man, of the team sitting on the bench at the blue line with the Canadian American flag over it, just phenomenal, right? Like
I
again,
love that, actually,
not
man.
the final shot of the series, but if it had been, it could have gone out like this, right?
It could have. I like that it's going on. Of course,
Right. There's no reason that it had to, but it could have. Like there was a
we
lot
don't know
of
where it's
closure
going to go,
there.
and I like that we don't know where it's going to go. Okay, I mean, this might be the more questionable of where this is going to go yet, but I feel like we say that after every season. Yeah, where it's going to go, they'll figure it out. I have a
Yeah, all right. And we'll circle back
you know.
around to that in a minute because yes, I think that, and again, they've built up the characters so well that they could do a lot. I mean, the last season there was almost no hockey. You know what I mean? 4, we talked about it. It was Summer and Sudbury.
Well,
there was almost no hockey.
The guys love tubing.
The boys.
They love the
Tubing and Weird Sudbury, dude. It's hard to top that. But just bringing in everyday strip club back into the mix, a decent substitute for Weird Sudbury. So we will take it. Sure. And this was a case where I did not really recognize any of the tracks or artists here. The opening track was "Gotta Change" by Caribou. As the game began, we got "Entrance" by Odd Kid Out. And then as they came off the third period, I really like this one. This was a Denmark Van Gogh and Gone by the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. And then when they were celebrating, it was Tell Me Anew by Ford. And then when Nat was giving her a monologue at the end there, Pastime by Willow was playing. And that's Willow like Willo, no W on the end.
No W?
No W, dude. No W, dude.
That must be
I think the Willow with the W, I think, is the daughter of the Will Smith and the Jada Smith. So,
well, it's also a fucking movie with Val Kilmer.
Yeah, that's a completely different Willow.
It's probably a copyright problem. Unless
there's
it's your actual name. If that's on your birth certificate, then I don't think it'd be a copyright thing, because that's your name. But if you're trying to, I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about.
A lot more Willows than Psychedelic Porn Crumpets.
Willow, all I'm getting right now out of this, dude, is Willow. So I'm thinking Willow, the movie with Val Kilmer, and I'm thinking Psychedelic Porn Puppets. And those two mesh together, and dude, we might be onto something here.
Well, it was Crumpets. Actually, Crumpets is more of a food.
Crumpets and not puppets.
Crumpets
or whatever. Well, wherever this takes
Crumpets
us,
and
man,
puppets and bears.
We got crumpets. Oh my.
Oh my. All right. Before we get too far down the rabbit hole here, let's give our episode MVPs for the season 5 finale. Soup, you are up first. You have gone thus far Shoresy, Hitch, the Gyms, Nat, and Mo in the last episode. Soup, who do you have here for the season 5 finale as your MVP?
I have to go with Shoresy on the MVP for the finale here, man. I know it's probably the easy take, but it just makes the most sense. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not even going to argue anything else. That's where I'm at with that one.
I think this is a case where if the show is named after a character, you could probably always take him as the MVP in most episodes.
Well, yeah, and I'm not trying to take the cheesy way out, but I think in this case,
no, it's justified, dude. It's justified. You've not. It's not like you've been going to that well every week or anything like that. So far, I through 5 episodes of season 5 have gone Hitch, Shoresy, Z, the girls as a group, and then Schnurr. Soup, I gotta give it up for Delaney here because he did the full circle thing.
I gave it to Delaney earlier.
Buying him lappies to score goals, that he bought a lappy for someone else to score a goal. That is character growth, my friend.
Right on. All right. Yeah. I get you, dude. I gave it to I never thought.
I mean, Shoresy could be it for any episode, so I try to dig deeper. And if this had been a little bit longer, but like the montage at the end is not necessarily very Shoresy centric. You know what I mean? They really spread it around here.
It's totally spread around.
And I think that's a good thing.
It's a difficult one, man. But At the end of the
Now,
day,
you've gone Delaney before, so he's creeping up there, dude. I don't want to. He's like our nice kind of like Weasley dude, right? Like you need a
right?
little Weasel who can score goals, like that little shit. Like
If
he's
he's
like
on
that.
the
He's
team
our
now,
little
man, you
shit,
gotta,
dude.
yeah, right, dude. And I like it. I hope this team
I'm with
continues.
it, dude.
I hope they keep these characters and this team going. However they decide to do it, I hope it is. And I hope they involve some of these younger players. I'd like to see Jack get in there and like play a role or be on the team. And maybe this show wraps up when it finally is said and done with. Hitch, Goody, Dolo, Shoresy, all these guys being the mentors, and then the new generation comes up and they yeah, I don't know, to keep the tradition going or to keep the game alive, or I feel like that, if anything, like that
All
should be
right,
very.
I'm with some
But
version of
but yeah,
that.
obviously you want to see those guys be playing too, and we'll see what happens next season, man. But totally happy with everything that happened here, and sad to see it end, but happy that it was here, man.
All right, well, let's put a numerical value on your happiness here in the form of an episode grade. Call it 1 to 6 cans of puppers here. Soup, you've been generally pretty high thus far. Through the first 5 episodes of season 5, you've gone 4 cans, 4 cans, 5 cans, 5 cans, 4 cans. Are you going with a full sixer for the season 5 finale, or are you going a little lower?
I went into this fucking season finale being like, dude, I have not pulled out a full six. I haven't gone through a sixer yet this season, man. Is it the fucking finale that I polish off a sixer, man? Sixer, poppers. Is it the finale? And the answer is yes, it is, man. This fucking finale gave me a sixer. No fucking problem, dude. Polish them shits off with fucking ease.
Yeah, the main problem would be is like as I'm finishing up the 6, I'm probably trying to like get another
Then you
sixer or
go to the
something like that
Colson. Then you
because
go to the Colson for a
yeah,
last.
yeah. Where's this case of where's this case of puppers? Because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I've gone 4 cans, 4 cans, 5 cans, 5 cans, 4 cans. I am right there, man. Give me a
You finishing with
full
the sixer
sixer,
too,
dude.
dude?
Oh,
Fuck yeah,
dude.
man.
No spoilers, but every season finale of Shoresy has been a full sixer for me. This
Fucking
is a
right,
show
dude.
that's, I mean, it's nice, kind of, symmetrical shit here, right? 6 for 6, I think, or well, 5 for 5, really. But
That's a
I'm
good
just
record,
assuming
dude,
it'll be
man.
six.
Dude, seriously, even for us, man, we're doing shit we like anyway. But if you have fucking 3, 4, 5 in a row that are sixers on the finish every time, that's pretty fucking solid, man. I think we stumbled on a good
Yeah, I
one.
think Shoresy's what I would call like a high floor show, in that there's never really been a bad episode, but it also has a pretty high ceiling, and I think that's where the sports aspect of it comes in, because that allows it to kind of reach a higher ceiling than
And
you
it
could,
spreads it
because it
out,
feels
though,
so
man.
good because you
Yeah.
have like it's a really easier to just make a confrontation, right? It's sports. Here's the good guy, here's the bad guy, the home team, the away team, or whatever, and it just
Right.
it simplifies the process a little bit, but it's been emotionally very satisfying. Like this is a show that's
Well,
been as
the
consistent
writing's good, the
finales as any I
filming's
know.
good, the action's good. I mean, there's really nothing bad about the show, man. I mean, you could nitpick a couple things maybe if you wanted to really get weird with it, but like I don't see anybody that would be like there's something have a problem with the show, unless it offended people in some
Yeah,
weird
I
way.
can't imagine anybody who would watch
But
more than
yeah,
2 episodes would have a problem with it.
I
Like,
mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good fucking put together, fucking very entertaining.
very consistent show too. Like, if you liked, what you got into with the first couple of episodes, that's still there, even if the premise is slightly different. You know what I mean? Like, sure, he's not playing. The cast has changed a little bit. The stakes have changed a little bit, but at its heart, it's the same show. Like,
Dude, it's hard.
that's the thing. It has a
It's just
heart.
so much. It's so much across the board, dude. It's super meaningful. It does tug on your fucking cockles of your heart. It gets in there to the cockles. It tugs on your heartstrings. It gets you involved because it's emotionally involved because of sports or because of just life or whatever, man. And it touches all those elements, man. And yeah, it's abrasive and vulgar and whatever, maybe offensive, but at the end of the day, it's a
Yeah, but
fucking
they're good about it. Like, it's not
right.
like they're not just like, here's like someone's asshole for the sake of it or something like that. Like, the whole opening scene of the season was basically an extended jerk off Jag, but like they never really like.
And of course,
you know what I
love
mean? Like
that,
it's
but,
like
you know.
it's all entendre or whatever. Like it's just good writing and especially good editing. The way it's cut together. You know what I mean? It's a dirty show, but it's not like that bad compared to like. It's almost
it is,
like
but it's not. It's in no way harmful. Like like as
yes,
dirty.
that's
as
a good
all
way to
this
put
is,
it, dude.
not
Like,
offensive, like at all, really. Like
like they could have even meant like we had a lot of strip club scenes this season. They could have like they were a little gratuitous, but not like overly so.
You know, and I love vulgarity, man. Like I want fucked up shit, you know. But yeah, everybody who has ever
Yeah, right. You don't want fucked up shit just for the sake of it being fucked up because that's when it's stupid. Like there needs to at least
but
be
this,
like
yeah, they do it right, dude. You know,
yeah.
I mean,
There's
again, Jared Kiso is a fucking
they're
genius.
dialed in. They got the tone, dude. They got it. They've set the tone. Like
The
we
tone, for
we
sure.
know the tone. We like the tone. I think. So I think overall we pretty much big fans of season 5. Just I don't want to necessarily rate them all right now. How do you think 5 compares to the other seasons? So just kind of like just thinking of it loosely off the top of your head.
It's tough, dude, because I really am like I'm not gonna put it above like the first like 2 seasons, maybe or maybe in the first 3, but it's right there with those. You know, it kind of brought it right back to where like I felt like maybe it took a step back, not a bad step back, but like a weird step in a different direction for like a season or 2 in between. Well, at least for 4 or whatever it was there, but because it was different. Not that it was bad, it was just different. This kind of gets you back, and still this is different too, you know. But I think it's getting back to the ice. You want to get back to the ice. I want to see back on the ice, and I think we're getting back on the ice. We saw some back on the ice this season, and I think we missed that last season. So I'm gonna rank this one right there with man, I'm gonna say like I'm fresh off it, so I want to put it higher than it. You know, I don't know. I'm gonna rank it evenly with. I can't. I got to split them fucking across the board.
Well, again, this
They're
show,
all
like theoretically, I think if you played it back to back, like all 5, like through
'cause I
5
like 'em
seasons,
all.
6
I mean,
episodes,
yeah,
30
dude.
episodes, it's roughly as long as like watching the 3 Godfather movies, maybe. You know what I mean? So like it's tough sometimes, I guess, put it all kind of in perspective, like you know, season to season, because the story does flow pretty well from one to the other. They did kind of put up like a point of delineation, like the first 3 seasons they called part 1, so this was the second season of part 2. Like, how do you think it compared to season 4, which was a pretty different season? Again, like you mentioned, not a lot of hockey action. It was kind of the whole weird Sudbury, you know, celebrating Shoresy coming
Bit
to
of
grips
tubing. The
with the
boys
job
love
thing.
tubing now. Yeah, they love tubing.
Well, who doesn't, dude?
So, but no, that was cool too, man. Should you have made a season out of it? I don't know. That'll probably end up being my least favorite season. I had moments. I'll have to go back and revisit it to kind of like pinpoint and whatnot. And yeah, no, I don't hate it. I will call it probably my least favorite. And honestly, man, I just love seasons 1 and 2. It's hard to compete with 1 and 2.
See, for me, 3 is the pinnacle because I think
Three's
that's
great too.
the
You know, I mean, 1, 2. I mean, it all kind of comes together there. But the whole building of the team and I don't know, like
yeah. I love that whole.
and we
Yeah.
get that in this season too, so it kind of rehashes a little bit of that with. But so I just hope they go from this, yeah, and I think they will, dude. I mean, this show has proven to be, you know, in that direction, smart enough, knowledgeable enough to know what people want, know what they're doing, to you know, to stay entertaining and what they're trying to do to stay true to what they're trying to do, you know, and I have full faith in that. So I'm looking forward to where they go and wherever they go, you know, in whatever direction it may be. I'm down.
I don't really have like a good feel on like. I feel like Letterkenny was like kind of popular, but do you think like is Shoresy more popular than Letterkenny already? Like I don't really
It
have a good
depends on
feel
who you
for
ask,
it.
dude. Yeah, it depends who you ask. I have people that like I know people that have seen and are hardcore Letterkenny fans, and of course, Shoresy was a character in Letterkenny, you know, in some of the later season shows. So you know, so they know who Shoresy is. But I know people that are diehard Letterkenny fans that have not seen Shoresy, you know, and love Letterkenny. And so it is, and vice versa. I know people that know Shoresy and haven't seen
Yeah,
Letterkenny.
I've only seen like a couple of episodes of Letterkenny. I got into this because
It's
it
different,
was on
yes, but it doesn't.
Hulu.
It's
I
different.
read like some people I trusted said it was good. You said it was good, and I checked it out. I like the sports aspect of it, and you know,
Oh, you're talking about Letterkenny Shore, dude. Trust me on Letterkenny too. It's different though. It's a different vibe. It's more. There's going to be a lot more. It's more dialogue driven. You know, it's more
right. But I mean, like it feels like Shoresy might have more ceiling, right? Like Shoresy might have more crossover potential, maybe. Like that we're seeing this now, like with
Absolutely.
Wayne Gretzky, and they're using Tribe Called Quest. It feels like
Of course,
did
yeah.
Letterkenny ever kind of hit that level, or
No.
does it feel like Shoresy's kind of progressing past that maybe?
Yeah, it has, and I think that's the evolution of where the show has gone and what Kiso's doing with his Kiso universe now, which I guess he might he might be the Canadian Kevin Smith, man.
Well, that makes me feel more confident if he's going to take a full season, like a full year between seasons. Maybe it is to because now like it's going to get bigger, like for better or worse. Because I mean, are you going to be cool? Let's kind of move into like light predictions. Like, do you want the sixth season to kind of just be another tournament basically, or do you want them to try to change it up? Maybe another off season like season 4. What do you think?
I don't know, dude. I want to see hockey action. I want the show to stay true to what it is, but I also want it to evolve. It set the bar pretty high. I want it to continue to keep raising the bar. And where to go from that, I don't know. It's up to Kiso and the guys to figure that one out. But I have faith in them that they will. And I don't think that they'll disappoint. I don't know what they'll do with it. But I think whatever it is, they haven't let me down yet. So,
Well, because I feel like it could be either like again they like the tournaments, so it could be something with the buys, or maybe something again now with the new team we've developed, and I don't really want to pick. Like I kind of want both.
Yeah, I think the thing with a show like this, man, is you don't want it to get stale, and it hasn't, and so you don't want it to. So I think them going back and forth on a couple things might keep it alive and less stale for a little bit. But how long can you maintain with that? I don't know. There's a lot of shit on the table. It's depending on what they do with the ingredients there.
Well, I mean, they after season 3, they they kind of called that part 1. Starting with season 4, it was part
Right.
2.
Yeah,
You think they're
yeah.
on like a track where they're going to do 9 seasons? So this would be like theoretically the last season of part 2. Then there's 3 more seasons of part 3, or do you think maybe it won't go that long? What do you think?
I would love to see a trilogy here, man. I think that would be the classic recipe. If you can achieve that, then I mean
Well, it's only 6 episodes a season. It doesn't seem incredibly expensive, so I think it's possible.
Yeah, as long as you can keep the story and the fucking area and everything fresh, and and I think they can, so yeah. That's ideally I think that's where it should go, but we'll see.
I mean, dude, this is a show that if they blew like an entire episode on like all our guys go to an Alanis Morissette concert or something, I would buy it. Like even do an April Lavigne concert. Like imagine like them like just go like that could be again another great like Minnesota joint. Like they go to the April Lavigne concert.
Could be bad.
You can bring in dudes from the basketball team, you know what I mean? Just build out the universe a little more. And I think, that's one of the best parts about this show is that even if it is a smaller running time and it's not huge on scope, you know what I mean? Everyone keeps coming to Sudbury to play these guys. I don't have to do a lot of traveling or anything. Like it remains like it feels like a big world, a big universe where there's a lot of options, right?
Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah, and there's a lot you can do, man. So I hope it continues to do what it's doing, and like I said, it gives me hope for humanity. The way the show is going, it's fun. It lightens my as stressful and intense as it can be sometimes. And as abrasive and whatnot, it still is realistic, and it's hope for the future for me, man. If more people were just like the fucking Sudbury,
like our guys, dude. Like, and that's basically the speech and act gets at the end of the season, right? Like, just like yeah, they can have their moments, but for the most part, they're pretty good dudes, and I think that's people, right? Like everyone will have their moments, but for the most part, you can just be a decent human being. That's you don't have to be perfect all the time. Just be good like 85% of the time.
yeah, man. We can still fucking chug a pubbers, man, and
Yeah, there has to be a couple of, a little bit of restraint on the ice, maybe. You can't kill each other. Well, just in the first period. You can kill guys in the first period. After that, you have to show a little restraint. Next season, what do you think, man? Like, do Shoresy and Laura take like the next step? They get married, something like that. It kind of feels like they're moving in a little bit here. You think maybe that is the next step?
that's either going to advance or fucking completely go south. It's one of the other. There's no in between there, man. It's either they fucking go.
I think it advances, dude. I
think so too. I think so too.
She's cool, dude. Like Shoresy's right, man. She's hot and she's cool. He can't really do that much better unless you want him to get with that.
Dude, I'd be super pissed
I'm
if
not
it
sure if
didn't
that's
work
better.
out. Yeah, I'd be super pissed if it didn't work out. I feel like it should. And
Yeah,
yeah,
they've done a good job with that, right? Because now we're actually rooting for the relationship. A lot
right,
of
yeah.
the popular shows, like you're pissed because it feels like the significant other, the main character, is holding them back. That's not the case here. It feels like Laura Moore's like, "Yo, Shoresy, go be your best self, dude. Like, don't
Yeah,
let me hold you back."
that's awesome because
Right
that's
down, even having
rare
a
find.
threesome, right? Like
It's a rare find. Yeah.
she at least seemed like willing to entertain it, like in a cool way. So yeah, shout
She was
out Laura
trying.
Moore,
I
dude.
do think she was trying to trick him, though. I think she was trying to
It
trick him.
was probably a trick, dude. It probably always is a trick, but
Well, hang on to
you
that one.
know,
That's okay. That's something to keep in the bank, you know.
yeah.
But yes, ultimately pulling for that, you know.
I mean, if they do another tournament next season, can they lose again, or do not, like now do you have to win again? You know what I mean? I guess that's the one thing with the sports thing that makes it a little tough.
I think it's got to win. I think it's all or
Yeah, we
nothing.
need at least a win, then maybe like you win nationals or lose worlds or something. I don't know
Big
exactly what
win.
it
Got to
would
have a big
be, but
win. You know, got to have a big win now. Yeah, yeah.
is Hitch still playing next year?
I fucking hope so. Goddamn it.
Well, I mean, we can't lose Hitch, obviously,
Yeah.
but we can't have more. I think they've kind of proven, like, that's it sucked that we lost Sanguinet, but it kind of makes sense, right? Because I don't know where he would have fit within the season unless you just didn't have Mo.
Are we gonna get Sanguinet back though?
I would like to at least a little bit,
Yeah, I'd love to see him again. I don't know where, but or
even if
how.
he's coaching an opposing team.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's spicy. All right.
We got Gretzky this year, dude. We got some known dudes, Jay Albright, like a bunch of like the
Jay
ESPN dudes.
Allred.
Those are all real guys. What do you think, man? Give me one kind of crazy cameo we could get in season 6 of Shoresy.
LaFontaine.
Patrick LaFontaine?
Isn't that the only LaFontaine?
Yeah, the only one I know. Dude, how about Mike Myers, dude? Like, he's a very Canadian, very big hockey fan. How about
Austin Powers, Mike Myers?
dude?
Okay.
Well, I mean, he could show up as Wayne Campbell too. I mean, if he wants, you do it either way.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Going in that area, man. Yeah. All right. Fuck.
Because it feels like maybe if they get Gretzky, they get Mike Myers, right?
I don't see why not, dude. You know, I mean, he seems like a good fit. You know.
Yeah, Canadian loves hockey. I mean, I get those two things usually go together. Tim Hortons, Stan Mikita. There you go.
Yeah.
Just get O'Neill involved, and we're there, dude. And well, and I mean, I get to.
And Alanis Morissette can play God, man.
What would be more fun? Just bringing in, Mike Myers as a cameo as himself, or somehow incorporating Wayne and Garth into the world of Shoresy? Like,
dude,
if they went to Chicago for a tournament or something, like you said, like older Wayne and Garth in the stands or something. I mean, would that be more fun than just a straight Michael Myers cameo? You think? Or Mike Myers, excuse me.
I feel like it would take away. I'm on the fence on that one, man. That's a tough
It
one.
might, because it would overpower it a little bit, probably.
Yeah. And now, don't get me wrong. I would love to see a fucking Wayne and Garth something ever, anytime. I don't know if it's a Shoresy crossover, though. I don't think that's the answer. Yeah.
But yeah, if you're going for that, they're in Chicago, then you might as well cross it over with the Bear, and you got a whole three-way.
Aurora, Illinois. Yeah, man. If anything.
Well, I mean, they're going to Chicago for the weekend,
Yeah, Alice Cooper.
Pia Carrere, I'm not sure, we can bring them all back together. It'll be fun.
Alice Cooper's coming to town, dude. No, that is in Milwaukee, man. In French, they call her La Renard. She would
La
be hunted
Renard,
only her cunning to protect her.
Well, we'll just have to rely on Jim Morrison in the Indian with the naked ass, or whatever it was, the native with the naked ass. I forget how Wayne's World 2 worked, but worked out well for them. So you got to do what you got to do. Eventually, you cast Val Kilmer in the doors, and you got a stew going. Soup, kind of anything else here other than we love Shoresy? We're excited about Shoresy. We wish there was something mid-season, but we'll be there as soon as they they drop it next year. Like, are you cool with the release schedule here? Like, they did the 2 on Christmas Day and then 1 per week. Previously, it was like 2, 2, 2. So you like the idea that they're kind of scaling it back a little bit here instead of doing just 3 weeks of release. They got to 5 this year.
Yeah, I actually do love that a lot, dude, because it prolongs the season a little bit because it's short anyway. It's only fucking 6 episodes anyway. So yeah, stretch that thing out a little bit, dude. Don't blow your wad all right away, man.
Yeah,
You
what are you
know,
in such a hurry for?
right, yeah, man. You know, space this thing out, dude. You know, have a little fun with it. I like the formula this year. I hope they stick with that going into the next season as well, and I'll be looking forward to a year from now, and when hopefully a year from now we'll be talking about this again too. I hope they don't put it into later of the year. I want to see a January, early fucking winter, like right after the year. If it's gonna be 27 on it, right there in January or whatever the fuck. So,
Yo, dude, how
anyway,
about this? How about the Shoresy drops like right after the Super Bowl, like 30 minutes after the Super Bowl ends, actually.
oh yeah, that'd be cool, man. All right, yeah,
Instead of Christmas Day, like especially this year, there was Stranger Things. There were other things that dropped
better than New
on
Year's
Christmas
Day.
Eve,
Yeah, put it
Christmas
right
Eve,
after.
like right
That's
after the Super Bowl, dude. Instead of watching
that's a,
whatever's on CBS or Fox or whatever, watch Shoresy.
that's a tough time slot there, dude. I bet you that's real expensive. Yeah.
Well, to be on the actual channel, but you could just
Oh,
put it
in
in the
in
actual
Crave in Canada, maybe different, but yeah, hey man, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
find a
Just
way,
fucking
dude.
bring
I
it.
mean, that's what you got the great one. Everything else is gravy from here, dude. We'll make it happen. That's how it works.
Give your balls a tug.
That's how it works. Thanks again for checking out There's Something About Shoresy. Again, presented by Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. Find our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Dudes Watch Stuff and on the web at dudeswatchstuff.com. Nice and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please remember to touch that thumb. Thanks again for checking out the show. We're just dudes being dudes, crushing beers, trying to set that tone.
Cody can't go no more.